Well, hello. OMG. I am back. Yes, it is me, Trudy. Oh my God. Where are the people this morning? Well, you know what? We're just going to get it. And I'm going to play the music behind me. I was trying to get the sleep out of my body, people. I'm telling you. Oh my God. This crypto currently has me up all day, all night. And then I got to do all the other stuff I got to do. Because maybe I'm not an AI, maybe I am a real human. But hey, let's get at it with the universal greeting. I'm going to keep the music going for a little bit longer because I kind of like it. But Beijing, ni hao. London, hello, top of the morning to you. By the way, I'm playing Sunday's best. Yeah, Sunday best. But it's a Tuesday. Paris, bonjour. Lisbon, hola. Hong Kong, hello. Sweden, eh? Toronto, good day, eh? Tokyo, konnichiwa. What is going on? My name is Trudy Art, and I always got to do this universal greeting because some of this stuff ends up on the YouTube, okay? And there are people that listen to it, hopefully. But you know what? We just got to keep it rolling. So this is the Universe Wallet. What do they do? Well, it's a whole entire wallet. It's an indexer. It's an explorer. There's minting. There's a marketplace. It's all on tapwallet.io. It's unleashing Bitcoin's full potential. Yeah, and Bitcoin has potential, people. But got to tell you, these market makers, they're making it fun for us, aren't they? Well, you know what? Tapwallet doesn't really stop. It is the all-in-one solution to manage all your assets in one place. You got full support for Tap, DMT, UNAT, runes. Oh my God, what are they doing with runes? They're making a comeback. BRC20, LRC20, Lambda, SRC20, Stamp, Dust20, and more. Yeah, more. There's so much more. Hey, before we get started, just a helpful reminder, this is not financial advice. You got to do your own research. Yeah, like real research. I'm seeing all over the timeline, peeps are getting mad at peeps for giving them tips. It's tough out in these streets, eh? If you get a tip, doesn't mean you take it. You got to go fact check it. Yeah, fact check these tips because I know you don't like losing money, but guess what, people? Like, you're kind of responsible. Yeah, you are. Come closer. I'm going to sauce you up a little bit. Do a rant-a-log on you, okay? When you come in crypto currently, you can't just go and jump into every single opportunity that is out there because there's different levels. Yeah, there are, okay? What levels are there? There's Mario Kart levels, and then there's Elden Ring levels. Yes. Yeah, Mario Kart, you just got to press the button. But when you get into Elden Ring, you got to know what you're doing. That's what crypto currently is. So just because you got a tip doesn't mean you take it. And hey, if you don't take it and you miss out, that's a part of life. Yeah, more is coming. So I have 3 questions here. Do you have your water ready? I had to already drink mine to relieve a massive pain on my right-hand side here, but it's gone because I took that water. And I got my blood pressure monitor in the back if I need it. You better get yours. And how are you managing right now? Is it terrifying out there? OMG. Yeah, terrifying. Like how? First, we got the North America terrifying tariff situation. And I'll talk a little bit more about that. But I'm going to get into some other universe fun stuff because it's good to have fun in this space, right? So I'm going to talk about airdrops. Then I'll get back to what's happening in crypto currently. It's, I don't know, it's kind of iffy out there right now, but there's so much opportunity. Don't leave. Don't go away. Don't cry in your beer. Don't have sad vibes. There's fun stuff out here. Okay, what's the fun stuff? There's airdrops. The universe has airdrops. Hey, and by the way, all the mics are unmuted. Whoever you are, you can come in here. You can stop me at any time. Just jump in. Okay. There are airdrops. Why are there airdrops for the universe? Well, the universe is a wallet marketplace. Like I said, they started last year, March of 2024. So they're coming up on their 12-month anniversary. And they have been building out pretty fierce. Amazing job that they're doing. So just a really good set of people on the universe team. Amazing, incredible devs. And one way that you can get people to take a deeper look at your project is to offer them something. And so they're offering airdrops. That's right. So listen, you probably noted the top of the page here. What page? The X page. There's a new name, people. Yeah, that's right, because the universe is a gold verified, gold subscribed. Do we have that yet? Okay, well, maybe I'll just hang off on that for a second until that happens. But you will note the name is at Bitcoin Unified. Yeah, that's at Bitcoin Unified. And they are having some fun in the Discord. So go and sign up for Discord. You'll see that at the top of the page. And once you're in that Discord, you're going to note that there are some interesting ways that you can interact and gain points with the airdrops. So for instance, if you are the first 20, you get a 5x multiplier. First 50, you get a 2x multiplier. I'm just going to run through it right now because the space is thin, but I still got some speaking to do. So I'm gonna just do it. Okay, what are some other ways that you can participate in the fun stuff at the universe? Listen, I'm going right there to tapwallet.io right now, and I'm going to tell you, you get your name registered. If you get your name registered, and how do you do that? You head over to Tools, and then you will click. Well, actually, first of all, you can't actually click chat yet because you're going to need to register your name. So go over to register. And there's a couple of things you can do. In fact, there's domain registration name services. There's .sats and there's .btc. You can definitely register that. And you can also register your own name. And once you register your own name, then you will have a name for your wallet. And then you can go over to Tools, hit chat. And once you hit chat, you can start talking to the other people on the universe that are in the universe whole ecosystem, as they say. So pretty cool. Yeah, you can start chatting. This is one of the first wallets on Bitcoin. It's a Bitcoin on-chain messenger wallet. And how cool that you can just start chatting with people. So I am True to Yart. You can come over here. You put my name in. You chat with me. And more importantly, guess what that does for you? If you register your name, you get a 2x multiplier on airdrops. There we go. Okay, now my screen kind of glitched out. Yeah, so hey, I'll give you another one too. Tap Zero. People, if you're in a tap protocol, some of the OGs know about the tap stuff. So if you're into the tap protocol, then you can actually get yourself an OG pass. What is an OG pass? Well, let's go over here to tapwallet.io again. And let's go over to inscribe. And once you hit inscribe, it should give you couple of options. So you click universe, and then the first option is tap 0. So with that tap 0, that's the OG pass. It's the first privileged auth mint on tap. Tap 0 holders enjoy a lifetime of 0 fees. Hey, I'm going to shill a little bit. Why not? Okay, before I get into what's happening out there in the market. Now, there are only 96 tap zeros available. So if you want to pick one up, hey, Bitcoin is giving you an opportunity to do that. Because what's Bitcoin at right now? Let's see what it's at. It has, yeah, it's down. It's at 99,234.99. Some are spooked, but I think you better brace yourself because there could be some more interesting things happening before Bitcoin makes a massive move towards the upside. Yeah, massive moves towards the upside because they are planning stuff on the administration. 47 is coming out strong for crypto, all of crypto, and yes, for Bitcoin. So don't kid yourself, people. This is a little bit of a I know it's tough, right? You get up and you're thinking, oh yeah, we got through the tariffs in North America, but now Beijing's getting in there, people. There's more tariffs. You can't stop the train, okay? Crypto just happens to melt or move up based on the news that's out there. So what is happening right now? Okay, so it's come to light that 47 had a very good discussion yesterday with Canada. Okay, as soon as this is done, I'm going to shut it off. Had a very discussion yesterday with Canada and Mexico, and they seem to work things out. And so they have a 30-day pause. So everybody celebrated. I was a little skeptical, as are some. And believe it or not, there could be a little bit more downside to come. I know that we're at 99,000, but brace yourselves. We could see Bitcoin moving down a little. I hate saying that because, that really gets people in the low vibes, but just, you got to prepare yourself for this. Like, you really can't come out in these crypto streets thinking everything is going to go great every single day, because that's not the way it happens. If anybody wants to jump in here, please jump in here and let's talk about it. Now, I will share with you what is happening right now with Beijing. They are also involved in this whole tariff thing, people. And this is a real thing. I mean, you're affecting the country's bottom line, and that bottom line is going to affect the citizens, and governments don't like things that affect their citizens because they want to stay in power. Okay. So let's see what's happening there with Beijing and this tariffs. Yeah, so China's hitting back with tariffs on U.S. goods after 47 levies take effect. So, there's always counter moves that happen, right? So we have, we've got a bit of a counter move happening here. And I'll just quickly say to you this. So the latest developments, and I'm going to quote, moments after President Trump's 10% tariff on all Chinese products took effect just after midnight. Oh, guess what Beijing did? They didn't say ni hao. They said, hey, you remember that movie, The Emperor Strikes Back? We're going to do some of that too. So that wasn't a quote. I put that in there. But they struck back with tariffs on U.S. coal, gas, and other goods. Yep, restrictions on exports of some minerals and just some other anti-monopoly investigation into Google. There's so much going on, okay? So Peter Navarro, he's Trump's trade advisor. He said the 47 was set to speak with Chinese officials later today. Yeah, that's today, about the dueling tariffs. So here we are thinking that we got out of the North American stuff with Mexico and Canada. And here we are back at it again. And yeah, it's affecting crypto right now. And so there's sad vibes going on. So this has sparked fears. Yeah, fears of a trade war between the world's two biggest economies. You know, people were talking about a black swan. Is this the black swan or is there more? I don't know. I was skeptical. I thought there's more to come. People better just calm themselves down and just take a moment. So the Trump administration, they plan to hit the North America's three largest trading partners, like I said, Canada, Mexico, and China, with tariffs. Yes, and despite warnings from the economists that this could fuel inflation and damage the global economy. Well, you know, Mexico and Canada, they struck back, but they had some last minute deals on border security, fentanyl. Hey, I'm heading into it so you can understand that Bitcoin now. See, this is the thing. When Bitcoin started off and it was just, you know, an ideal, a libertarian way for people to trade trustless peer to peer, it was just the common person. And what affected Bitcoin? It was just really the belief systems of the people around us. But as the governments and the bigger guys, the Wall Streets, they're getting involved. Well, now you're seeing that Bitcoin is now going to actually be affected by the global economy. Okay, so as Bitcoin gets more and more adopted into the mainstream media, well, mainstream news is going to 100% impact Bitcoin. And we've seen that for some years now, but it's really ramping up. So listen, they struck a last minute deal on border security, the fentanyl and all that, and they secured a 30-day pause on 25% tariffs against products from those countries. Now, Trump has accused China of failing to do enough against fentanyl. There's a drug war going on, people. Yikes. So this has now, he's followed up with these tariffs as a leverage. But China said, hey, guess what? That it opposes the tariffs and that any issues should be resolved through dialogue. Yeah, like the other administrations did. But you know, Trump is a truck around and find out type of leader, so he's pushing it. So these tariffs take effect. They won't take effect until Monday, according to the Chinese government, meaning there's still some time before the countermeasures fully take effect. So here's what else you need to know. So the markets, the S&P nudged higher in early trading, in the United States, after stock markets in Asia recovered from their drop a day earlier. But the threat of the trade war still hovered over European markets, which were mixed. This is what happens. And so I'm sharing this with you because why? Because I don't think people get that this is going to be an ongoing thing in crypto currently, as they say. So what to do? Here's what you need to do. I think you just need to continue to get ready, start stacking those sats, and you can stack those sats by getting tools. I always like to tie this back to the universe, and I ask myself, okay, well, what are they doing to counter the tariffs? The tariffs. the tariffs. Okay, so here's what they're doing to counter tariffs in the larger world. They're creating tools. And those tools can help you to get ready, because I think it's times like this where the tools are going to be really important. And how are they going to be important? They're going to be important because they're going to give you an edge within the Bitcoin ecosystem. One of the edges right now that you can actually jump on is the runes. Runes is having a comeback. I'm not going to get too much into it, but if you're on, obviously on CT, you've seen the timeline. Yeah, you've seen the timeline. They're having fun again in runes, and they're making it happy days again by bringing in some faster ways to trade within the runes community. So Odin Fun is blazing fast, they say. Who's tried that out? Odin Fun is the fastest way to trade Bitcoin tokens. So you log in with your favorite Bitcoin wallet, Xverse, Leather, Unisat, etc., etc. You deposit your BTC and then get one confirmation. You add liquidity, remove liquidity, and swap in seconds. Swap in seconds. So guess what is going to be on the comeback? That is runes. Yeah, runes aren't going anywhere. So the universe has something coming for you in the background that will give you another tool to participate in runes. But if you're not into runes as of yet, why don't you mint them? Yeah, start minting runes. The universe has a tool that is called Rune Zero. So if you head over to tapwallet.io and you go down to Universe, the Universe tab, so you go to Inscribe, go to Universe, and it is on the third tab there, Rune Zero, and you will see a screen that populates, and it allows you to mint Rune Zero. So the cost of minting Rune Zero, it would be a good time of day to do it because of the price of Bitcoin. So it's 0.001 BTC. And once you mint that Rune Zero, what does that do? Well, it allows you to actually mint runes right on the page. Okay, it allows you to mint runes right on the page. So you can go back to Inscribe. So you got your Rune Zero, click runes, and then what you do is a screen populates and it says mint runes, and the hottest mints will populate. So some of the hot mints right now, Uncommon Goods, Cat's meme coin on Bitcoin, Bitcoin Shrooms NFT, Bitcoin Doge, that's at 90.79%. And I imagine when things get hot, Bitcoin Doge is going to be an interesting one to look at. That's not financial advice. That's just, a common sense sort of thing, because Doge is very much in the news. And within the 47 administration, Department of Government Efficiency, that was fun. Good backronym. That was definitely a backronym. Good on you, Mr. Musk. So you can start minting. And what does that Rune Zero help you to do? Well, you can mint for less than what? If you are a minter of runes, you might have done that on Luminex. You might have done that on Xverse. You might have even done it on Unisat. So in comparison, you can save up to 50%. And minting is where the magic happens within runes. Why? Because if you're buying on secondary, then some of your ROI, your return on investment, you've already lost that. But when you mint, you actually almost become the market maker. So that's a really great tool that the universe is offering. And I don't see that many have actually taken them up on that, but they really should. They really should. Why? Because again, these are the tools that you're going to need so that you can actually get ahead in the market. Okay, yeah, there we go. So that's a really interesting tool. And I think that, in Bitcoin, as I look at these timelines, I see people really like hunting for the next play, but start hunting for the tools that can help you to be ahead of the game. The next game that you probably want to be ahead of is the name registration. I talked about it at the top, but I want to kind of get into the .sats and then the .btc. Hey, I like that little the little improvement here that I see on the site. When you go to tapwallet.io and you hit register, you now have the option to mint .sats, and you see that there is a field here with an arrow that will give you the option to switch it over to .btc. Now, depending upon the name that you choose, it will populate the actual price of the domain. The minimum cost seems to be 0.0002 BTC. Hey, it might be an interesting thing to mint, something that's in the headline. You never know, people. In this Bitcoin space, it's the headlines that make or break things, and the headlines that make things popular. So you might want to pick something up that's going on in the headline and then mint that. So there's some sats.sats, there's Nakamoto.sats, there's domain.sats, Michael Saylor.sats, and so on and so on. There's about 2 pages, actually, in fact, of people that have picked up those .sats names. I saw a interesting post about a week or so ago where OKX was talking about domain names. And so if a centralized exchange is kind of dropping that alpha, then you may want to get ahead of the game. People only come to things in crypto if like crowds only happen when the markets are hot. But if the markets are not, then the people tend to drift. They just, they're sad. They don't really want to go in the trenches anymore. But that's the point. This is the time to do it. Today is the day to actually make sure you're ready and you can front run everybody else. And I know it was such a big, it was, you bounce back and then you have to go through this again. I can only imagine how it feels. I'm here with you, but I'm not sad. I don't know. I'm okay. Okay, so let's look at .btc. I think .btc is also very, very powerful. Obviously, .sats is, and .btc would be even more so. And the domain names there start at 0.00045. By the way, should mention expiration time. This is permanent. Once you choose a .btc, a .sats, this is like forever. So unlike the ENS stuff where it expires and you got to renew it, you don't have to renew it here. So I think that's kind of cool. Okay, so what are they doing over on .btc? Okay, so Dorsey.btc, PYUSD.btc, TaprootWizards.btc, Equity.btc, YourWorld.btc, etc., etc., etc. And I mentioned that numbers are pretty interesting. And why would I mention that? Because if you're doing the .btcs, then you definitely want to make sure that you do, if you're doing them for resale for later, people are very interested in numbers. So you may want to do that. By the way, I started a conversation with a trademark lawyer. Yeah, trademark lawyer. And I was asking about .btc and .sats in the crypto space. And she said all of the trademark rules actually applied from the real world to the crypto world. So keep that in mind. If you're picking up Amazon.btc, you better just hold that. Yeah, just hold it. Don't actually go and use it, because according to this trademark lawyer, they could actually come for you in a big way. Okay. But there are cases out there, and I'll bring that on a different show. There are cases out there where people are fighting back at some of this trademark stuff. For instance, there was a case where a man, his name is Mario. Yeah, like Super Mario. And he had a little shop, and he wanted to name his shop Mario Noodles, something to that effect. And so what did Nintendo do? Yeah, they came at him. Okay. But actually, it turns out because it's the guy's name, he was actually able to hold on to the name of his shop, and that is setting precedent. Why am I bringing this up? Well, in the .btc stuff, obviously you're going to go for the high profile names. Be careful how you end up using those names, because if you're going to monetize them, then those companies will actually be able to come for you in a legal way. So the best thing to do when you have those names is to sit on them. Why? Because those companies have to come to you. They can't rip them out of your hand. You have them. And what's the chances that a major company would want their name .btc? I say it's very high. So they're going to have to negotiate with you. But just make sure that you're not going out there and monetizing it. Okay? Because it all changes if you try to monetize it. Why did I mention that? Because I just happened to have that conversation. And I thought that that would be something that you might want to keep in mind. Okay? And those are the types of things that we share here. Hey, I should mention this. All of this stuff that I'm talking about, what did I just talk about? I talked about names. I talked about the Tap 0. I talked about the Rune 0 and the .sats, the .btc. You can actually go over to Marketplace and you can start listing these things. Why would you want to do that? Because others will come in here and they may want to buy some of those names that you have already chosen, because once the narrative picks up, which it will, hey, listen, go look at, well, maybe you don't have to, but I'm telling you, I literally said yesterday, I said, I don't believe this bounce back. Because if I know TradFi, they like to trap people. Yeah, they like to trap people. They like to get you feeling comfortable. And then once you're comfortable, they come back right at you. And how did they come back at you? They made you think that Bitcoin was going straight up to Valhalla and beyond. And what they do today? They drop kicked you. How'd they do that? Well, people, it's almost like they timed this. I wonder if in the background they're doing this. But the tariffs, they're not going away. This is a soap opera now. So now Bitcoin is there plunging again, and here we are, and blah, blah, blah. So this is why I'm saying get out here and start getting tools and get ready for when the people come back. Because when they do, you're not going to have time to prep. You're not going to have time to go grab a name. The only thing that you can do is buy secondary. That's all you're going to have time for. And I'm not playing here. Okay. There will be no minting, really, because everything will kind of be moving so fast and furious, you won't have time to mint. You won't have time to load your wallet up. And that's especially if you're in Bitcoin, because we're focusing on Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a different chain, people. It's an independent chain. It behaves differently. So today is the day to get that started. Now, I haven't even gotten into the stamp conversation, but I will. I absolutely will. People, let me tell you something about stamp. OMG. Why was stamp literally the only candle that was green? Yeah, stamp was the only candle that was green. Okay? Everything looked like blood. And lo and behold, stamp is saying, that's okay. I'm still here. And I got to say, I'm noticing something very interesting about stamp. The holders are growing. I don't know if anybody's paying attention to that. It's slowly but surely growing over time. And so that tells me that there are people coming in. That tells me that there are people believing. That tells me that there's momentum growing. What are they believing? What is growing? The interest in stamp. Okay. Now we've got a couple of different stamps. What do I mean by that? We've got stamp the protocol. Yeah, the protocol. Go read the white paper. It's very interesting. That Mike in space. Okay. I talked a lot about him. The guy's an artist. Okay. He's, from the counterparty, rare Pepe, all that type of stuff. And he wanted to basically make sure that art, okay, because art, listen, when you're an artist, you understand the world very differently. And he wanted to make sure that that art remained on top of Bitcoin, the most powerful asset in the entire universe, in the entire planet. And he wasn't interested in his artwork being removed. So, as you know, he got a couple of devs, Renamora, Arwin, both Kevins, by the way. That's a long story. We won't get into that. And these guys basically took all the stuff that was in Mike's head, and here we are. We are in a space where we're about to plunge a little bit further in depth into Stamp. Okay, so Stamp is a protocol. It's secure. It's transferable artifacts. And what are they? They're maintained permanently. The permanency is the storage, like how they're stored on top of Bitcoin. So they're stored in the UTXOs. They're not inscribed, as they say. They're stamped in the UTXOs. They're not inscribed in the witness data. And that's important because that's why you have a lot of energy, a lot of focus, and people coming over to Stamp. And what are they doing? They're coming in here because they're seeing an opportunity. What's the opportunity? The opportunity is to be first, ground floor, before anybody else arrives. Okay, like we're basically foundation building, and they're first to step into this tech because it is tech. Yeah, it's tech, people. Stamp is tech. And so that brings me to the other part of Stamp. So you got the art, okay, and artists are coming here. They're experimenting with their art because it's like compressionism, as they say. NFT Pepe, go and follow him. He talks about it all the time. So they have to compress their artwork so that it can actually be on the Stamp protocol. Now, the other part of it is the tokens, okay? People like to gamble. Gambling is a utility, so don't get me started, okay, with your high and mighty gambling, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so we like to gamble. Do it responsibly. So they came up with the tokens, but I somehow think that there are a couple of tokens that are not a gamble on Stamp. One of them is Stamp, STAMP, $Stamp. That's a token. Why don't I think that that is a gamble? Well, if the Stamp protocol, okay, if the Stamp protocol is used as tech, is used for other real world use cases, then that Stamp token is going to be, it's going to be the Coca-Cola of colas. Yeah, the Coca-Cola of colas. Names matter, people. Names matter. That's why Stamp, the token, is so important because it's the name of the protocol. Names do matter. Hey, well, let's just say it. I mean, 47 is the president of a country, and if you say the name USA, comes with a lot of power, a lot of strength. So names matter. Okay, now I'm not going to mention another country's name so they can get upset at me, but names matter. So Stamp matters, and that's why it is so important if you're coming into the SRC20 space that you actually look at that token. This is not advice. I don't give advice. That would be crazy because you're not going to ever come at me. and tell me I lost you money. No, you lost yourself money. Why did you lose yourself money? Because you don't understand yourself. What do I mean by that? If you are likely to sell stuff because the market looks like it's on fire, you have no business being in crypto. Yeah, get out of here right now. I'm being serious. Pack your bags and leave. Yes, I said that. You have no business being here. This is a tough game, people. They're trying to shake you out. They're trying to come for your mind. They literally want you to be poor for life. Yes. Okay? And so they must shake you out. And that's what they're doing right now. And they're going to continue to do that. I didn't buy this whole, oh my God, the market's going up. I had a little conversation with someone obviously on Twitter, right? On X. And they said, oh yeah, we're at the bottom. I'm locked and I'm loaded and ready to go. And I said, are you sure about that? And they assured me. And I said, well, you know what? I don't know anything. That's what I told them. I don't know anything? Yeah, I don't know anything. But I said, what I do know is patterns. And I am uniquely interested in patterns. And according to my observation, this did not look like the bottom. This looked like good old TradFi trying to prepare you to think it's a top, think it's the bottom rather, and then you jump back in, and what do? They drop kick you. They drop kick you, and now you're thinking, oh my God, this is too much. And that's why I'm saying, if you're here for a quick buck, get out of here. Yeah, I said that. Get out of here. Because this is called the new war. The war for your attention. The war for your thoughts. And they want you to believe that there's still opportunities out in the 9 to 5. Good luck on that one. Okay, if you got a 9 to 5, keep it. Don't get rid of it, because you can use that to stack sats, right? You can use that to stack sats, but the opportunities are here on Bitcoin. So Stamp allows you to stack sats. It truly does. Like if I'm going to look at the Stamp, somebody can jump in here, by the way. I don't need to continue to monologue, but I'm going to go to CoinGecko, because I'm going to talk about the actual token right now, Stamp, okay? By the way, and I do love to say that a lot, here's how you can support Stamp, because I do like to give people takeaways. Go to CoinGecko, okay? Go to the search bar, put Stamp, and you can do this every single day. Scroll down, and there's a little section on the left-hand side if you're on a desktop. It's also on your mobile. It says, how do you feel about Stamp today? Okay, so you know what I'm doing? It says the community is bullish about Stamp today. Why does it say that? Because somebody went and did what I'm about to tell you to do. So there's a little rocket or there's a thumbs down. And so what I do, and I try to do this daily, I have to admit some days I miss it. And then I go ahead and I click the rocket. Okay? I click the rocket, and then that sends whatever analytics that CoinGecko is looking for, and then it will populate into the whole metrics of Stamp. So you can do that every single day. Okay, go to CoinGecko and then scroll down, and you will see on the left-hand corner, how do you feel about Stamp? Click that little rocket, and then that helps Stamp. Yeah, that literally helps Stamp. The other thing that you can do is you can sign up for CoinGecko, and you can actually list Stamp as one of the tokens that you're watching, because they also measure those metrics. Everything is about metrics. So right now, 2,967 people have added Stamp to a watch list. Do you think that centralized exchanges look at data? Yes, they do. They do. They look at data. So if nobody is paying attention to Stamp, Stamp is just going to be the best thing ever that nobody knows about. So what we have to do is we have to become a part of the game. Yeah, the game, the metrics game. So please consider signing up for CoinGecko. And by the way, you do the same thing on CoinMarketCap. Yeah, the same 2 metrics that I have shared with you. There's a metric that asks you, are you bullish or are you bearish? Choose the bullish sign. Okay. And then sign up and then add Stamp to your watch list, and that will help. Okay. So the next time we come back here, hopefully this can be over 3,000 added to their watch list. So yeah, even Stamp right today is being affected. So it is down. But the other day when all of that stuff was happening, Stamp stayed strong, and it's staying strong because there are, I believe, a few sexes, not just one, that have a plan for Stamp. And I think they have a plan for Stamp for a much different reason than what many are thinking. But I'm not going to share that today because I'll take you down into a rabbit hole and you'll be like, oh my God. Yeah, literally, I'll take you in a rabbit hole. Hey, I do want to take you in a quick rabbit hole though, okay? I'm going to say this. Exchanges are now happy to offer lending services, okay? And I talked about that with the Bitcoin APs here. If he could unmute himself, that would be really cool. But exchanges are offering lending services. And I just want to say this quickly. Now, are you aware that in the real world, it was becoming harder and harder for corporates, and I mean for everybody really, to actually get financing? Yeah, very hard for them to get financing. Because of this ESG, it's an environmental, social, and governance program. So what is it? ESG investing refers to how companies score on these responsibility metrics. See? Metrics. Do not kid yourself. Everything is based on metrics, like even today. Okay. What, I got like 7 people in the space? The universe bases this on metrics. I don't really give a poop. You know why? Because I know I bring value everywhere I go. So I don't go by that, but everybody else does. They need to, because that's how money's made, okay? But I will just like continue to do whatever I do, wherever I do it, and I'll do it if there's 1 people or 2 people, okay? Because that's how truth works. But anyhow, ESG investing refers to how companies score on these responsibility metrics and standards for potential investments. Environmental criteria gauge how company safeguards the environment. Why am I mentioning this? Well, if you went for a loan, and I'm going to actually, in the future, probably do a show on it, they would actually use this score to measure you. Yeah, to measure your company. Okay, so again, it's a framework used to assess an organization's business practices and performance on various sustainability and ethical issues. Ethical issues? Are you kidding me? OMG. Yeah, we know about the island. I won't even talk about that. But so don't talk to me about ethics, okay? So here they are. They have to be measured on this. And if you didn't have the right scoring, in fact, it could affect your ability to borrow. Yeah, it could affect your ability to borrow. Now, here we have centralized exchanges, because the Bitcoin Ape and I talked about this. Coinbase, okay, the number 6 exchange currently, and Binance, the number 1 as far as volume in crypto, okay, as far as volume, they are both offering loans. Guess what their ESG score is? Do you have that in your wallet? Yeah, that's all their score is. They don't give a poop about, well, yeah, they care about the environment, but they don't score you. There's no score. You don't have to go through a ESG. They're not there to be your overlord. That's why, people don't get sad right now, because crypto is going to go to Valhalla and beyond. If corporates can come in here, put this on their balance sheet, and then borrow against it, and they don't have to go through all this nonsense, they don't have to have ESG scores. Okay. They don't even have to, you don't even need a credit check. Okay. In the corporate space, I mean, they'd have letters of credit and blah, 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 but I'm not going to get into that. They don't need any of that. Okay. All you need is the crypto on your balance sheet. There's no meeting with the bank manager, with the loans officer, okay, getting back to you in a week. You don't have to score for it. You just have to have the crypto. Why do you think that the 47s ET and DT Jr., did you see their tweets? Oh my God. Should they be tweeting like that, by the way? Hey, they're giving financial advice. They're dropping hints on what you should do. And I'm not saying you should follow them, but I think that sexes now offering loans is going to create such an explosive dynamic. Why? Because you're telling corporates that they can come in here, and as long as they have those assets, Bitcoin is the number one asset that they will loan you. Okay, the number two is ETH. And then there's some other. Look up the articles, and then you'll find out what the other ones are. But Bitcoin, so if you have Bitcoin on your balance sheet, like Michael Saylor has been telling everybody to, then they're going to allow you to borrow from that. There's no prerequisites. There's no check boxes. You don't have to do anything but have the asset. I'm repeating that over and over again so you can understand how powerful this is, because this is going to draw more money, more energy into the crypto space, specifically to Bitcoin. How does that tie to Stamp? Okay. I am telling you right now that it is my belief, it is not advice, that Stamp will have a mechanism, a way. There will be some type of planning for Stamp to be an asset that you can also borrow from. Yes, I said that. I didn't say that so that you could go buy it, because if you're one of those people that buy stuff without fact checking, then get out of here now. I'm being serious. But I think Stamp is going to line up under that umbrella. Why? Because it is securitized to what? Bitcoin. It is securitized to Bitcoin. Start looking for patterns. Get there early, and then when everybody else figures it out, then you can exit, because you do have to exit at some point. So you got to figure out how much are you going to exit, because these assets, just like the housing market, will continue to appreciate. No lender on the planet is going to take assets that depreciate as collateral. Let me say that again. No lender on the planet is going to take assets that depreciate. Okay? They're not going to take your bicycle that rusts. Okay? Unless it's like for a fixed amount of time. They're going to take something that appreciates. So that's why we have seen housing traditionally appreciate, because of the way housing is set up, specifically in North America. It is a little bit different in Europe, okay, because there's a lot of renting and so forth in Europe. But if you ask a question, yeah, just ask yourself, okay? your parents, what did they buy their house for? Your grandparents, what did they? You will take a look at they will give you responses that will make you wish you had a time machine. Oh yeah, we bought this house for $10,000. A house today that they could sell for $1 million. That's Bitcoin. So if I were to give you just an example, buying Bitcoin today is like buying a house at $10,000. Yep. Literally. That's why these guys are rushing in here. These guys who? The sexes, to give you opportunities to borrow. But be careful, because if they're going to give you opportunities to borrow, that means they want to basically liquidate you and take the assets, okay? So Stamp is going to be a part of that. Why? It's the only protocol known on Bitcoin to have that securitized mechanism in there. Yeah, it's the only protocol on Bitcoin that managed, or rather that thought about security. Like, how are we going to secure the data here? How are we going to make sure that this data can't be scrubbed? So anything that has permanence to it has opportunity. Okay. Now, anything that has permanence to Bitcoin has tremendous opportunity. So Stamp today is trading at just under 3 cents. And it's down, well, you know what's moving up a little bit. Down 6.4% today. I'm not telling you to buy it. I'm telling you to go and find the patterns. Find them before they happen, because by the time they happen, you won't be able to come back here to this conversation and change. You won't. And whatever you're doing, you have to understand that these players can outlast and outwit you. It's like Survivor. If any of you watch Survivor, you better go watch it, okay? Seriously, go watch Survivor, because they'll vote you off that island. So if you're not into the Stamp protocol, I'm telling you, please do yourself a solid. Go read the white paper. Get into the community. Maybe pick up some art, because art is a great way to build your portfolio, especially on Bitcoin, and it's permanent art. And then think about Stamp token, and also Kevin. Why Kevin? Because first is first. And in anything in life, if you are the first out of the gate, you do have a little bit of a precedent there. Go look at all the precedents for being first, okay? So Kevin is first mint. Anything after that, I would say, is a bit of a gamble. Why is it? Because if you're there calling your token by the name of a company, that company is going to come for you. Why? Because Stamp is going to get to the point where it's visible and valuable, and then that company will come and say, you better shut that down, or we're going to come for you. So I wouldn't be choosing names that are associated with other major companies, because in the future, I think that will be a contentious area. So for instance, I wouldn't call your Stamp Nike. I just wouldn't do that. I think you're going to have problems down the road, okay? Unless you want to get in and get out. But Stamp, that's the name of the protocol. That's the value. So I think that one is longevity. I think Kevin has an opportunity. I did not tell you to buy either of these. I told you what I thought. And I told you to go hunt for patterns and then go and try to prove me wrong. That is a job that, I'd like to hire you for. Yes, and here's what I'll pay you. I will pay you, congratulations. You can now actually make it in this space, because if you're willing to go and take your time and energy to educate yourself, congratulations, you are going to win. But if you're going to come here and drive to the window and say, open up. I want my tendies and my fries. Get out of here. Nobody has time for that. Okay? Go get a job. Stay over there. Don't come to crypto. That's bad. I know I said it, but people, you have smarten up. Okay, smarten up, because there's a massive opportunity here. I see it. It's pretty big. And I'm talking about life-changing big. Like, this is not just a small thing. This is not just like, oh yeah, I'll make a couple bucks so I can go buy some groceries. No, this is life-changing, okay? And so this is something that you may want to consider, like, how am I going to participate in this? Because there's obviously going to be a lot of movement, a lot of games, until things are there'll come a point where they can't pull back. The cat is out of the bag and they can't pull back, and then this thing will take off and it'll have a trajectory where it's like, okay, it's left the building. But right now there's a ton of setup that has to be done for some of these things to play out. So I would watch for metrics. Yeah, watch for metrics within the system so that you can see, okay, now I really need to get in. Like, if you see them talking about lending more and more, start setting yourself up to maybe come in and get yourself set up, especially on Bitcoin. Because if corporates can start borrowing from their Bitcoin through a bank, through a centralized exchange, they're going to knock the doors down to come in here. Where do you think the price of Bitcoin is going to go? And then once Bitcoin gets out of hand, where do you think they're going to look next? I say stamp. Why? Because it's secured right to Bitcoin. Okay, listen, somebody better get in here because I'm going to wrap this up.
Good morning.
Hey.
Hey. I was just waiting until you finished talking before I stepped in and said hello. Hope everybody's good. How's it going, Trudy?
Oh, it's going. Let me tell you, this market had me had me going in a rant-a-log.
That's all right.
XRP and XRM is going to go $4.
Who's talking?
That? Who's talking? Sorry.
Well, Sadie is. I don't know who else is talking.
Yeah. Who was that?
Whose music's on? I don't know what's happening there, Trudy.
Star. EAR.
She shows as a listener.
Oh, okay.
I'm the only one that's showing up as a speaker right now that doesn't have her mic muted. But anyhow, just wanted to let you know, as always, I'm enjoying everything you're saying. I learn a little bit new every time we talk.
What'd you learn today?
I can't remember. That's funny.
You weren't listening, Sadie.
I've been listening since we started. I just have a serious shit memory problem. Yeah, it was before you started talking about stamps, but you know what? The memory will come back. I've got my notebook out and I start taking notes, only I couldn't find a pen, so I didn't take any notes.
I'm teasing you, Sadie. You are so great. I appreciate you so much. Yeah, no, I really appreciate you, and you're always here.
Wow.
Repping.
You know what? If you're not here, you're not learning, right?
Well, and that's the thing too. Like, you don't need to start plunging into crypto right away. You can take time to learn it so that you can understand it. Because I'll tell you, anything I do, I can sleep at night. If Bitcoin went down to 70, I'd still be sleeping well at night.
Yes. So since I came in 4 months ago, is that how long it's been? Yeah. I knew zero about crypto. I didn't know that BTC stood for Bitcoin. Let me tell you how much I've learned in 4 months, but I am opposite. I simply step in deep, and that is how I learn. But I only step in deep little bit by little bit. So I've managed to secure a fair bit of this and a little bit of that on top of all of my airdrops that I've received. And I love it. I absolutely love it. I figure I've got getting a winning combination going on here. And I'm trying to prepare for my future, which I can't do it in a real world. I can't do it with normal banking and money. Like they just take all my money and fees and shit like that. So this is where I'm at and it's going to work out for me.
You stacking those sats?
I stacking those sats, lady. Thank you very much for the push.
Yeah, no, you got to stack the sats.
Quick question. Earlier you said something about Odin Dog.
Oh, yes, yeah.
Okay, so after I had messaged you, I actually did go in and pick up a little bit. I figured it out.
Ooh,
Always a
nice.
scary thing when you don't know what you're doing and you sure as heck don't want to lose anything you're putting into it. But I did figure it out. I was successful. Where do
Yes.
those show up at? Like I used, I linked my wallet, everything worked. I know what I have, but I can't find it on the wallet that I linked. What does it show up under?
Oh, okay. Well, you may want to go to like you bought it with your Taproot wallet, and you may want
No,
to
I
go.
bought it with my Phantom wallet because the Taproot wallet, yeah. Well,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So make sure you head over to it's on your Phantom, is it?
Yes.
Okay. Make sure you go under Bitcoin, because it's under Bitcoin assets.
Okay, and that's something I did not.
Yeah. Let me just see if I can open up my Phantom wallet. Okay.
Okay, so go to my Bitcoin.
Go to, and we can even take this offline, but yeah, there's
Sure, that's
there's
fine. We can do that later.
because you there's a little section there on the wallet that allows you to tap into Sui, to tap into the Coinbase, or to tap into Sol. So you got to set it for Bitcoin.
Yeah, I am on Bitcoin.
And then you should be able to see it there. Let me take that offline with you, but yeah, definitely.
Okay,
Congrats for you that you got that. Oh, okay. Let's see here. No, that's okay.
Yeah,
We'll take
we'll
that
do it
offline.
after your informative chat here, and I'll step back. I just want to let you know that you provide a lot of good information, and do not test me again and ask for proof.
Yeah, no kidding, right? Okay.
Okay, it was nice chatting. I'm just going to mute myself and let somebody else step in.
Okay, yeah, and I'm going to wrap up soon, but I just want to hear Bitcoin Ape. You got anything you want to say?
Hello, Bitcoin Ape. Good morning.
Hello, GM. How are you,
GR.
Julia?
Great. What's going
Great
on
talk,
with you? What are you? Go ahead. What are your thoughts on the market and everything that's happening and how
I was listening, yeah. I was only listening about, very interesting, talk about stamps, Bitcoin, and all the thing around. Yeah, quite interesting. And yeah, only as a listener today, but yes, indeed, I really believe that, the Bitcoin ecosystem we have is play, and we are only at the beginning. Like Bitcoin, we are the pioneers of Bitcoin ecosystem. Like the pioneers on Bitcoin, when nobody was believing on them, on what they bring to the world. Like bringing a new digital cash. 10 years ago, everybody was joking about you when you saying that Bitcoin could bring you digital, decentralized money for everyone, and that you can trade anywhere at any time, and nobody can, get your freedom of trade. Any government, any people, any institution can touch your Bitcoin. And look now where we are. So I truly believe as well now the first revolution of digital cash is happening now. But the piece missing that everybody don't still realize is that your data, get your data free, got your data, permanent and immutable on Bitcoin. And not only the data, but digital assets, ownership of assets as well. And thanks to this Bitcoin ecosystem, could be stems, mostly SRC20, but big up as well for rules and ordinals for what they are doing. A lot of people, hardworking people who are trying to bring as well this revolution. So, yeah, truly hard, as well listening what you are saying, and, you are 100% true what you are bringing to the space to us, but as well for people who will listen, but as well to the world, frankly speaking. And for sure, what you are saying now, the word you are saying now, people maybe in months or years to come will get back to your space and listening, carefully, word by word, what you are saying. As now people are watching YouTube videos and listening the the first Bitcoiners was saying 10 years ago on YouTube that Bitcoin is the way to be. But now it's on the space, on X space, that the things are happening. And the future is happening right now, under our eyes, or maybe behind our ears, because we are listening mostly. So yeah, thank you very much, Juliet, for what you are doing and for the space. And basically, as you say, if even there is one people, two people, nobody, the worlds stay. The space on X stays for the legacy. And yeah, let's continue together, all together. All the team, all the people who are bringing on, on this space. We see that Sadi, Benimix, Vision, Is Crypto was there. So more and more people, are listening. Of course, it's hard to listen when you have your 9 to 5 jobs, or when you are busy with so much things. And as you say, there is a war of intention. So it's hard for people to understand why this could be good for them or bad for them sometimes. Because that's life anyway. We have to sometimes to open our eyes, and stay silent and listen. But anyway, thank you very much, Juliet, for this space, and always a pleasure to be there with you and all the folks around us, all the people and all the stampers. So great to be back, to be there.
Yeah, exciting times ahead, really. We just want to make sure that people, prep themselves because it can be a very long journey. So you could be at this, for a time, and then you think, oh, well, this is not worth it. It's like, but that's the thing. When you have players that have an understanding beyond what we have, because I don't fully understand all of the stuff that's happening, but I can see the patterns. That's the only thing I have is an ability, like we all do, to see pattern recognition. I don't have any insights. I'm not in on any information that you're not in on. We all get the same information if we choose to go out and find it. But if you can start connecting the patterns, if you see a pattern, that means there's something there. You just have to keep your eyes open for it. So the pattern that I'm now seeing is that there's more and more governments that are coming towards Bitcoin. There's more and more corporates that are coming towards Bitcoin. So Bitcoin is actually like a magnet, and the energy is moving directly into Bitcoin. And as this energy moves there, you have to ask yourself, well, what are these new players done outside of Bitcoin? Like, what's been their 1-2? What's been their ammo? Like, how do they transact outside of Bitcoin? Like, ask yourself a question like, outside of Bitcoin, what has the government done? Okay. Then you ask yourself, okay, is there a likelihood that they will pull the same thing on top of Bitcoin? And then you look for the patterns and you see, okay, if your experience with government has been, well, you know, my government has done this, this, and this, and this, then you can expect that they'll do that, that, and that on Bitcoin. So what does that mean? That means that that's what you have to look forward to. Everything that they did in the real world, as they call it, that's exactly what they're going to do on Bitcoin. Corporations, what have corporations done in the real world? Okay, then ask yourself, is it likely that they'll do the same thing when they're on Bitcoin? And my thing is, yeah, that's very likely. So then that tells you that they're going to be weeding people out. They're going to be weeding people out because when corporates and governments find something of value, then they tend to take it over. And you can look at the history of gold if you want to understand what I'm talking about. What did they do when they found gold? When they found gold, they moved very aggressively. They even confiscated people's gold. Okay, so that's the type of thing I'm talking about here. So if you're not prepared for that, get prepared for it, because that's what's potentially going to happen over on Bitcoin. So you're going to have a plan, like how are you going to stay in this game, because it's going to get harder and harder to remain in Bitcoin because of all the things that they're doing. So with that said, people, there's one last thing I want to say. Check in most definitely to Stamp, because I think Stamp is a big player within this whole new corporate hunger for Bitcoin. Yes, there is a hunger for Bitcoin that's coming from governments, that's coming from corporates. Yes.
I think he's now the digital assets
Yes. So I'm going to wrap it up so people.
Minister.
Yeah. Yes.
I think could be interesting.
I'm going to wrap that up because I know that there's some big stuff happening. But I'm just saying, folks, there's a corporate hunger coming for Bitcoin. There's a government hunger. We're going to hear, I mean, we didn't even talk about the Sovereign Wealth Fund. We'll do that. But we're going to have one of the Trump's guys that's going to talk specifically about that. So get ready.
We can't listen live in this space. We can't listen live this show in this space. And maybe we can also change the title. You know, it could bring people, a lot of people on this space. What do you think?
Okay, how do we listen live to that?
Maybe through your laptop. Maybe if you put the video. Or share, I don't know, the screen where we can see, the video of the speech. I don't know if you know how to.
You know what we can do? Maybe what we can do is, should we close this out and then bring it back on, and then you can come on here and how do you do that? I don't even know how to do that. Because that would be great if we could do that. Listen live to it.
Yes, indeed.
I'm just looking right now how I could actually set that up.
Or maybe I can share, I can pin maybe the live video on top of the space.
Why don't you do that?
Let me try. I'm gonna trying to find a live video of the guy who's talking. Hold on, please. I'm checking.
Okay, yeah, check that. Great. Well, he's checking for the live video. Yeah, peeps. The energy's coming toward here. So, if you want to stack sats, we're saying get into the Stamp protocol. We're going to try to pin that live, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a plug for the universe. What's the plug? The plug is that if you believe that Stamp is going to be taking front and center stage here, then the universe is actually going to be bringing stamps, the SRC20, over to their marketplace. And as the very, very active stamp community is on the other dexes here, they're not dexes, they're OTCs, over the counter, openstamp.io and stampscan.xyz. You can go there to see some of the activity. Well, that activity should be coming over here because they're actually going to allow you to trade your SRC20 tokens. And if you think that that is exciting as I do, then you may want to go over to Inscribe, click Universe, and click the middle tab iStamps. If you get yourself 10 iStamps, just 10, then that will allow you to earn 50% monthly marketplace revenues with iStamps. Passive income for life if you hold a minimum of 10. 567 remains, so looks like somebody picked up 10 from the last occasion there. 1933 already completed. So there's 567 left at 0.0002 BTC. You really need to go and check that out if you are somebody that is interested in the stamp ecosystem, the stamp protocol. Again, iStamps, purchase through tapwallet.io. Head over there, you go to Inscribe, and then you click Universe. It's the middle tab, and it populates right there. You'll see iStamps, and that's where you earn 50% of monthly marketplace revenue with iStamps. Passive income for life. You just need to hold 10. Okay, let's see what happened. Oh, is it there?
Do you hear me?
Yeah.
Hello?
Can you watch live from there now?
Yeah, I got on Condesk. I pinned the the Condesk post on top of the space, but I don't think that we can see.
Can you hear it? Can you hear it?
Right now, because I'm on another screen, yeah, I can hear it, but from the space.
Okay,
unfortunately,
hold on. I have it on. Can you hear it or no?
He's talking?
Yeah. Can you hear it?
No, I don't hear anything.
Can you hear it or no?
No.
Okay. So
I don't hear it.
You don't hear it. So let's do this. Let's repost it.
Oh yeah, it's talking. Yeah, it's talking.
Okay, so you know what I'll do if we can't hear it. I have retweeted it. Let's just close out this space so people can jump in on that because that's kind of important.
Yes, indeed.
And then next time we will have to figure out how we can actually stream that because that would be really cool. So thanks, guys. Go ahead and go and watch that now. I won't even play us out with music. I've reposted it, and you can see it there. Jump on if you have time and get that info because it's really, really going to be critical to get some of that info. Okay? Watch live.
Okay.
Plan for digital assets. Take care, guys. Bye.
Let's talk about it tomorrow if you want.
Excellent. Yeah, we will. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Sure. Okay. Bye-bye. Thank you.